2 p.m. UK time. So it is our live stream. Very exciting, as I always say this, very exciting agenda for today. Good Lord, what are we going to cover? I can hardly wait to find out. Let's have a look. We are going to be looking at our usual structure, which is task of the week, reporting spotlight, where we shine a light on the exciting ways to visualise your data within Consonance, from our own correspondence, where we look at the things that have come in on the help desk in the last week and see if there are any generic learnings that can be shared fruitfully, and then what's new. So let us crack on. And I am really excited to share the task of the week this week because it is customising marketing materials. And long-time viewers of this channel, as in the last 2 weeks, will know that we have been working hard on a way to get more control over your marketing materials. So I am going to attempt the unattemptable today and do a live demo, live looking at making up our own marketing materials. So let's see how that goes. So here we are. We are on the Feline Press account in Consonance. I've been playing around myself with some of these flyers, but we're going to have a look at one all the way from scratch. So follow along and see how far we get in making a beautiful advanced information sheet or marketing sheet or ABI or whatever, or tip sheet or whatever you call them. All right, so I am going to add a template and I'm going to call it live. And I'm going to select customize your own 2-column and hit save. That's going to take me back to that page. And then I'm going to click to customize my 2-column. And when you land on this page, there's nothing much here. We've got what may become a footer. We've got nothing else really. And I'm going to start this process by choosing cats throughout history, because I know that that one's got a cover design. And by default, a cover is going to appear on your template. So this is the way that you preview your customization as you're going. Later on, we're going to have a look to see how to use this template to generate normal marketing materials. And the spoiler for that is it's either by setting on the imprint the template that you want to use for all of the products in that imprint, or you select the template in a batch action as a result of running a report. So hopefully you're familiar with those 2 ways of getting your AIs out of the system, which is how it's been for a long time. But we're going to focus, as I say, on designing this thing first of all. And one of the first and possibly most powerful, I keep saying that, I expect, ways to customize these things is to be able to upload a banner for the header and a footer image as well. So I'm clicking on images here and I'm going to choose banner, and I'm going to choose, it's not coming up. I'm going to choose this, that's the footer. Is that a header? That looks like a header. My Photoshop skills are clearly much better than any of my other skills, maybe. I'm also going to choose the footer here. I'm sure I saw a footer. Lovely. So this is artwork, and I've spent time in Photoshop making these pieces of artwork. I've done them to a particular dimension, but Consonance is going to fit them to the top of this page and to the bottom of the page as well. So already let's make that a bit smaller. We're starting to see this thing take shape. We've got a banner, we've got a footer, we've got a cover image, and these things are within your control. But now what we're going to do is add in some of your metadata. So for a long time you've been using custom reports to say, I want to put the ISBN 13 onto an Excel spreadsheet. I want to put the pub date in this particular format onto a spreadsheet, and we are using those exact reporting elements on this new template here. So I've got left-hand column and I've got right-hand column. Left-hand column is the column on the left underneath the cover here, and right hand column is over on the right. So let's start by adding, let's add the blurb to the right hand column, and there's our blurb. So I've clicked to add elements, I've typed in blurb, sure enough the list has whittled itself down to give me blurb, so I hit save and it's going to appear here, and that's lovely and everything, but it's not very often that you say the word blurb when you're about to go into it on the advanced information sheet or similar. You want to have a bit more control over this title. So that's one of the things we can do within this new feature. I'm going to hit edit here, and here's the heading text. At the moment it's blurb because that's come through from as the default. I'm going to call that about this book, which is fine. I've also got an ability to style separately the content and the heading, and I've got currently default text, 12 point, Noto sans, all very good, but I could select another one of these styles, and I've made some of these previously, and immediately we're seeing, okay, we're starting to get a sense of styling here. So how did I do that? How did I make this change shape, change colour and so forth? It's another option underneath data exchange, and it's highlighted here as a beta feature as well. So definitely, let us know what you'd like to see that's missing or to come. But here we have the text styles that I've set up already. Within your account right now, when you start using one of these customizable templates, you will have default text and emphasis text. You can absolutely edit them, but you can also add in more potential options. And I might want to give this like a subheading so that I can start to see what my design library is. A nice feature that we've got in here is a quick check to see that the colour contrast isn't going to be obnoxious. So at the moment this ratio is fine, there's a green tick. If I was to set this colour to be something oh so subtle, then you see we're not going to enjoy that. That's a horrible colour, I can barely see it, our customers won't be able to see it. And if I go back to my AI and refresh the page, we're going to see what a terrible choice that is. For accessibility and aesthetic reasons. So let's go back to our definition, choose something. I mean, we can go for purple. Why not purple? Purple is always a strong choice. And that is fine now, 8.63 to 1. Going back to our book, our advanced information sheet, looking a lot better. Don't think I'm going to be able to live with that as a design choice though, so I am going to set it to something a little more pedestrian. So all of these other values can be changed as well. I can change the font size, the style, whether it's aligned. This one in the middle is aligned center. I can align this left and right. You will know what's best for your design. But the gist here is that you're setting up a defined style, and then you can apply it to multiple different designs. So yes, I've had to go in and make those edits, but that is now an asset that I can reuse again and again. And when I change it once, all of my assets, all of my designs, my templates update. So it's quite handy. So this is looking great already, and I've used this blurb here because I want to show you that some HTML is possible. We've got an italic in the marketing text here. We've got a bold, and we've got a bold italic, and we've got a bold as well. So inline styling is possible, which is appropriate. I also want to show you now some other colours that can come into play. So we're going to add for our next element the key selling points. Now this is an Onyx 2.1 only type of marketing text, but we're leaving these in Consonance, even though that's properly fully deprecated, because it's a place where you can keep text and you can use it for your internal uses here. So again, fine, it's printing on the page, it's printing the bullets, which is lovely, but it could be more aesthetically pleasing, and it could be a little bit less computery. Sales points external, said nobody when they were trying to sell books. So let's change sales points external to, oh, someone's been here before. Why buy this book? Wonderful. And oh, I forgot to change the style, because I want that to match the one up there. Go in and edit. Heading style is our subheading. Great stuff. And that's going to look beautiful, very nice. For a bit of a stretch goal though, I would like to take a bit more control over these bullet point colours. Let me see if I can go in so that we can see that, I mean, I can hardly see it, but that's a kind of a bluish colour. We control this over on page layout and colour, and you can see the bullet points at the moment is down to be a bit of a blue colour. So let's edit this region. Let's choose bullet point colour. I'm in Firefox, and Firefox's natural modal here for editing a colour gives me a eyedropper tool like in Photoshop. So I'm going to get the peachy colour for the cat in the heading over there, banner over there, and I'm going to hit save. And then I'm just starting to build up this sense of this being my design and my marketing rather than somebody else's. And so this is looking really nice. Already I would be fairly confident in having this as a design. Let's do a little bit more changing, because my designer's eye is regretting having a hard break here and then the edge of the cover here not being quite right. So let's see if we can make that look a bit better. So again, in page layout and colour, I have an option to make, well, I could make the left column width actually a little bit wider. So it's a dragger, so this is imprecise, but let's see if we can, oh, we're nearly there, let's go a little bit further. Page layout and colour, left column width, just a little bit further, and then, oh, bingo, look at that. Things lining up. First rule of software and design development. Great, so now I'm going to add some secondary information underneath my cover. So that is left-hand column. So I'm going to add some elements. Now let's try and get a good range of things here. Let us add the ISBN. So I type ISBN in, and as you'll be familiar with from the custom reports, I've got a number of different flavours of the ISBN. So this is at product level, but we've got lots of different ways of going into that product and getting the right sort of information. I am going to choose the ISBN with dashes. Print that on the page. And it says ISBN 13 with dashes, which is absolutely redundant. So let's edit that. In order to omit the title entirely, I omit the title entirely. And I'm going to keep that in line so that it's nice and tight with the rest of things. Great. A little snug there, I think, to the cover. So another feature that we've got is vertical space before. So let's give it a bit of vertical space before. And I'm going to see that that's much better, a bit more breathing space. Okay, a couple more elements on this side. Let's choose price, because price could, there's an option here, the default price including the currency symbol. So that's nice. But we are definitely not going to want to say default price, and we do want it to be a little bit tighter. So we'll edit into here. We're going to have that in line. The heading text, I'm going to say RRP, and after the text, I can say something as well. So this is a little bit contrived, but I'm going to say ex-VAT, and just to show that you can have a bit of control about the front matter and the after matter of a piece of text, and that's sitting there looking really nice now. I'm going to add in the theme code next. No, I'll add in the imprint name, because I will want to just make that pop a little bit. So imprint, yes, being very leggy. Let's edit it. I don't want that, but I do want the text to be a little bit, maybe even Maybe even the subheading. Why not? Why not? Let's go large with the imprint name. Yes, that looks fine. That looks lovely. And it's, yes, I don't need to defend my design decisions. Good Lord. Final one, we will do the bio. Why not? The author bio. And a very kind Consonance client has written in saying, can we have another biographical note? So that is feedback in action. We will be adding in any recommendations that when you're using this feature, we want you to be saying, it's so great, if only it would just ... So definitely keep the notes coming, and we can say about this author, because they are an author, you could say contributor. We'll make that this nice chunky subheading. We'll keep it on separate lines, that's fine for now. How's that looking? I want a little bit more space, so you know it. We're going to add in a bit more vertical space before this one. So hopefully this is building up a picture of this being a very immediate way to start taking control of your layout of your marketing materials. And you're not limited to just one. This is the exciting thing. You can have a design for your press release, for your AIs, for your tip sheet, for your author information sheets. You can have flyers. We're working on having multiple works or products on a page at the moment. And you can also, and this is, I'm almost saving the best till last, you can change the size and the orientation of the paper. So let's click into page layout and colour. At the moment, this is defaulting to A4. I'm going to change it to A5, and I can change it to landscape, and I can produce a flipping landscape A5 version of the same thing. There's a duplicate option, so you could get your A4 one all lovely, duplicate that, and then refine your A5 one, because now you want to change the column width and so forth. So really have a great time with this. As you can see, it's 18 minutes past 2 now. There was a bit of preamble and then we started. So I'm calling that a 15-minute soup to nuts demo of going into your system with the tools that are there right now, uploading banners and footers that already exist in your marketing assets, and seeing what beautiful materials you can make. We are highly interested in hearing how this goes, because we are in beta with this. We would love to hear feedback, because I'm sure there's loads more things we can do, particularly about the design elements available, also the data elements available, and we would really like to have a gallery of your amazing outcomes in the fullness of time. So that's maybe a couple of months away once you've had a chance to have a look at it. But I really hope that this is going to be a very, well-trodden, well-used feature that liberates you to sell more books and to get the word out about your books into a wider sphere. So that's great. As I say, just very quickly, in order to use that, you can, lots of things here. You can do a report, choose a display or action, batch actions, create an AI, and now you can choose this template in order to generate multiple of these at once. And it's really lovely, isn't it, to be able to generate 25 of these things all in one go, all according to nice design rules, and then know that your work is done for the day. So great. So we'll leave that there for now, and let's go back to our task of the week and see what is next on the agenda. Next on the agenda is reporting spotlight. And oftentimes when we've looked at this segment, we have gone straight to the reporting area. Clues in the name, I suppose, reporting spotlight. But there are other ways to look at your data within Consonance in an aggregated format, which really is what reporting is about, isn't it? Pulling the patterns together, pulling out the highlights, grouping data so that it can help you to have insight and make useful decisions. or well-informed decisions, I should say. So I'm going to go to the kind of client level sales analysis area. And to do that, I go to my menu at the top here, click on that. And it's kind of one of the first options here in the list. It's sales analysis. So I'll click on sales analysis and we'll see what we've got. Now, it's kind of a shame I'm using Feline Press because, bless it, it doesn't exist and it hasn't had any sales. So the information that we see here is a little silly, but it'll be enough. And my word, it'll be fascinating for you if you go here and see your real data in action. Hopefully over the passage of time you have sold more than 20 copies of books in your programme and made more than £200 worth of sales. But this will obviously contain the information that you have uploaded to Consonance, which will be present in your system if you use Consonance for royalties. So this is almost like a happy side effect of having done that data entry. You get to now see some summaries. So at the top of this page we've got a real top level summary, and this is all time, all products, so these numbers should be quite chunky, and then you're going to get a breakdown by master channel, which is deeply unimpressive at the moment because there's one or two sales and one sales channel, but that's okay. And then we have Feline Press sales by month. So we've got in January 2024, which was month number 125, we have got one product that's sold, and it sold 10 copies, and the average sale was £10. It's quite useful that we've given one entry for every month, even if there were records or not. I'm going to scroll down the page and we'll see that much further down the page we've got another record. These are all zeros. Nothing happened for years and years in this imaginary company. But in month 1, January 2012, we did sell some books there. So you get to see sort of how things have shaped themselves out over time. And it's quite helpful, to say, well, this is the month on month change. If I look at the headers here, we've got the month change, and then the year on year change, and the cumulative number, and then cumulatively what percentage of the total are you at. So you can start to sort of sense shapes and that sort of thing. So that's very useful. Oh, and hopefully you've seen throughout the land these icons here, which if you hover over them for long enough say copy to clipboard, and I can copy this information and you can get it into an email or a spreadsheet or a data warehouse or what have you if you want to take it further outside of the system. Scrolling down past this month by month, we've got sales by product form type. So if you're publishing audiobooks, ebooks, hardbacks and large print, so interesting to see your the contribution from each product form type. Then we've got sales by channel, so that's the next level down from that sort of top level channel at the top, and home trade is dominating it at the moment. But again, imagine how interesting it will be to see your company level information like this. And then sales by master channel, and then top sales works per month. So you get to see a bit of a sales ranking, and I'm afraid Cats of the World is doing an awful lot of heavy lifting here because it's the only one that is in the play, in the contention for being in the sales rank. But that's really useful to be able to see month by month, work by work, what are the real contributors to your success or otherwise. It all builds a picture, doesn't it? It builds a picture for future decision making, for reporting, for insights and for control, so that you know what's going on. We've got top sales works per month, we've got top sales series and top sales authors as well. Yay, go me, selling imaginary books. Knew I could do it. So that's really interesting at the top level. The same page is replicated at the work level, and arguably this becomes even more useful at this point. So I've clicked through, I'm on Cats of the World, and this page is on the Insights menu here. So underneath Insights, Sales, Analysis. And so now we're seeing the same sort of layout, but it's only for cats of the world. So again, really super interesting and useful, and broken down into the same ways that we looked at earlier. There's another work level page which is fascinating as well, and that's under contracts and royalties, and you get to see royalties reports. So let's click on that. It's going to be pretty empty, but we've got a summary here of the royalties for this one particular work. So helpful to be able to see this, and if you're doing royalty reporting or meeting with your author to give a sense of how things are going, where the ebbs and flows are, then this is a really great page to come to. Maybe even to sense check, that what you thought the split of sales from different product forms is actually coming to bear. So again, this is meaningless data, but for you, for your sales that have been uploaded in order to run royalties, this is like gold dust. So have a wonderful time looking at that. Another page, which is, it's funny, isn't it? The things that are useful. It's quite useful to see your sales actually at work level. So this is a list of the individual sales transactions that you will have uploaded, but only for this one work. And you can click in and have a look at that, and you can see whether it's been royaltied. You can see, all of the other settings there. So yeah, pretty useful stuff. And as I say, we went to the company level. This is at the work level. We can also see this information at the series level, and really that's why we've put the new tag on there, because being able to manage series and consonants is not new, but being able to see this sort of thing is new. So here we are, series reports. How are, in the round, how are all of the works and products within this one series doing? We've got sales by channel, by product form type, and then we start to see actually broken down product by product within that, work by work within that series, which ones are contributing on which month. And it's really interesting when you've got real data in here to start seeing these sort of columns. The first work appears and it sells for a bit, and then the next work in the series gets published, so more sales start appearing, and you can look at that and you can think, are the sales of the second work in the series cannibalizing the first work, or is it having a halo effect and our sales being boosted? And just being able to even get started on that sort of sense of analysis on this page is really nice, and can find yourself following your nose deep down into an interesting rabbit hole. So so that is pretty much everything on sales analysis to just get you going, get you started looking at that. But now we are going to move on to the tales from our own correspondence. And I'm in slight danger here of it being a little bit boring, because it's about VAT and tax. And that's not everyone's cup of tea, I suppose. But we did get a really interesting and short and pithy and useful message in this week saying, oh, we've got a new type of book and we think it should have VAT on it. What do we do? So I shall let you know what we advised. So the message came in and a bunch of preamble, but the new products that are going to be published by this publisher are that they're basically text-free. They're effectively journals, and that makes it not the sort of book that is zero rated in the UK for value-added tax purposes, for sales tax purposes. And the client sensibly asked, do we change the VAT code in the pricing area and walk off? Are we done? And we had a little bit more to say on that. So the first thing is, yes, absolutely right. You go to the pricing area on the metadata page and you look at the GBP VAT code, and you can click into here and you can make sure that it's set to whatever the correct VAT code is. Importantly, you're not changing the number, you're not typing in 20, pressing enter. you're typing in the type of VAT code that it is. So when, not if, but when the government regime change VAT rules, as happened with ebooks in living memory, rather than having to go into your system and change actual numbers, when it happened for ebooks, our customers didn't have to change anything because the tax code itself could be changed. So that was that's really, it's an example of one version of the truth. You know, you say what the VAT code is and what its number means, and that's a single item of data, and then you can apply that such that it updates its related records. So anyway, so yes, you go to the price area and you change the tax code according to whatever you need to change it to. And of course, Consonance can't advise on tax approaches. That's for your accountant to advise on, but we can absolutely make sure that the data reflects reality there. These are the other two things that we said about a UK taxable product. We mentioned HMRC commodity codes. So normally in Consonance, the HMRC commodity code that everything's tagged up with is a book, and that long number there, 4901, blah, 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 is a book. But if you're looking at your product in hand and you know that it's not a book and it's something else, then you can change the HMRC commodity code in Consonance on the metadata page as appropriate. So again, you know, you'll need to figure out what that is, but all of those codes are listed on the government website. They'll probably change over time. So go and figure out what the code is, and then you can change that so that it goes out in Euronics and is correctly updating your third parties. And then the other thing we mentioned was what sort of work they might be classified at, what sort of product they might be classified as. So in this instance, if they were a record book, like my baby's first year or something, and you write in information and that's a record book, then there's an appropriate code for that, so you can change it to that. And if it's got a different sort of binding, then you can update the binding information as well. It's definitely worth dropping us a line if you do have any outliers like this, any interesting new sorts of product forms, because we can omit them from certain data aggregators and data recipients' feeds. I mean, we do this as a matter of course for certain sorts of information. You know, if one of your recipients is an ebook aggregator, there's no point in sending them your print information. So that's based on the product form. And similarly, you might not want to send your book distributor, your book warehousing supplier, any information about types of products that aren't going through them. If you use a map distributor for your maps and a book distributor for your books, then we can change your Onyx feed configuration based on product form. So it never hurts to drop us a line saying, just as this wonderful customer has done, saying, we're doing this is what we think we should do, any thoughts? And we will give any thoughts. And sharing is caring, so it's really nice if you can let us know any funny things that are going on, because it might help us as well. It might help us to avoid a problem further down the line if there are any effects that no one's thought of yet. Great. So that was from our own correspondence this week. Keep the support tickets coming. They are our very bread and butter. It's through them and it's through feedback from our customers that we are able to continue to develop the system in the way that we're trying to do. If there's a problem and we don't know about it, we can't fix it, although we can get a sense sometimes. But certainly we greedily solicit feedback of any sort. So thank you for being in touch. Keep the interesting feedbacks coming. Right, what is new in Consonance this week? And what's new, you might have seen it already, is an enhancement to notifications. So notifications are the things that appear when you've asked Consonance to do something that could be classed as a long-running job. So, you know, with our advanced information sheets earlier, say that you've, you know, just generated 45 of them, they've all got a heavy number of spreads and they're going to take over 30 seconds to generate, then that job goes into a background job and Consonance will say, right, 30 seconds has passed, we are done, your download is ready to download. So that's the notifications that I'm talking about there. And they exist top right, let's zoom in, top right, on the bar up here. And sure enough, if you hover over this bell icon, it says notifications, and that's notifications. So the enhancements that we've made are this delicate jangling bell. So there's slight movement there now. When there is a notification that remains unread, that bell is going to very subtly jiggle backwards and forwards. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you how to switch that movement, that motion, off if that offends thine eye, which is a perfectly valid position to take. So we're going to have a look at that in a moment. We've also got a slightly more visible dot for those that like colour. This used to be blue, and blue against the dark background there was basically nothing. So the yellow is a little bit more bright and airy now. But, oh, and gosh, I hope we can see. Let me just pull down my bar here a little bit. So this is my browser window here, and you know, browsers, this is Firefox. I've got my tabs open, and you can see on the well, hopefully you can see on the tabs that are present on this browser that there's now a subtle yellow icon over the Consonance logo there. So that's another small indication when you've left Consonance for the time being, you're doing something else, there will now be a small sense that something has changed on the page and you can come back and retrieve whatever it is you need to retrieve. So yes, so a delicate little development there. If I click to see these notifications, there's a further enhancement here, which is that I can enable my browser notifications. And if I do that, because we require permission from your browser, we can't just go, you know, throwing our weight around doing whatever we want. Once I click allow, then Consonance, when a new notification appears, is going to be able to say something has happened. And you'll have that from various other services, won't you? You know, if you have notifications set on your email, and then a thing swooshes in from the edge of the screen to say new email in, then it's that sort of thing. So you can choose to enable that or not as per your preference. I promised that I was going to show you how to reduce motion, and I'm slightly sharing this because I really hope that most web developers honour these reduced motion instructions that users give to the system. I'm going to show you this in Mac OS because that's the computer I'm on at the moment. I'm actually a little bit vague as to how you do it on a Windows machine, so I may have to add that into the notes once I've gone and asked someone who uses Windows later. But just off screen, I've not lined this up properly, just off screen is the Apple icon on my laptop, and I'm going to click the Apple icon and I'm going to choose System Settings, because this is the level at which we can omit or set up our preferences. And I'm going to type motion into the settings up here, which I find in this enormous menu that they have by far the best way to figure out where one of their options is. So I'm not even sure I could tell you scrolling down through here where we're going to. It's accessibility somewhere, but I don't think that's a top level option there. Anyway, so type motion in there and then click on reduce motion, and then it's a toggle at the top here. And if I time it right, when I switch, I missed one. When I switch reduce motion, then it's going to stop that bell in its tracks. Okay, so I'm going to wait until it goes. Go on. I didn't click properly. Okay, second time round. Watch the bell, and it's going to jangle. And I clicked it and it stopped. Great. So we are honouring your setting requirements there. If I say, okay, a little bit of motion's fine, and I undo that, then that bell is going to start jingling every 30 seconds or something. Not jingling, no sound, never sound. But that motion will be controllable by you. And I wanted to show you that as well, because if you're driven to distraction by things jingling and jangling and swooshing all the time, perhaps this system level setting will help you across other services as well. And once you've turned this on, if you still see motion, then you are entirely justified in contacting your vendor and saying, "Oi, I said no motion and you're moting." So yeah, so that is a nice little feature of your computer. Right, that's notifications. I think I've covered everything on that, possibly. Next up, bonus power move. I need one of those air horns so that I can make a big horrible noise at this point. Bonus power move is the segment of this live stream where we give you the sort of power move that is going to amaze and delight your colleagues. And today it is filtering the menu. Now it's funny because I've just done this on the Mac on system settings. I opened up system settings, was confronted with an enormous menu, and I used the filter to refine down my options. And we can do the same sort of thing within Consonance. So the obvious area is on the menu, and I'm going to go to my menu top left here. In fact, why not? I'm going to use my keyboard. I'm going to press Control, and that is going to bring up the menu as well. And if I can zoom in, and when this menu opens, the cursor finds itself in Find in Navigation. So there's no need to now use your mouse to move around. You are perfectly positioned to type something to whittle down your options. And the options are kind of over here on the right hand side, all of the different places in Consonance where you can go. But it is a bit of a slog to have to, drag your mouse all the way over here to find something. And this page can move around when you've got a different sized browser open. So, it's not necessarily something that you want to keep loaded in your brain the whole time. So we use this a lot. And if I type, for instance, ONI, then what the menu is going to do is whittle down all of the options to only include those which include the letters ONI. And Onyx is a class example of that. So that's why Onyx is there. And if you're forever doing this and thinking, how many more times do I have to type ONI in my life? While you're here, you can check the star icon. And then next time you come to this page, Onyx is going to be right there. So again, deferring to my keyboard, I've opened the menu, my cursor's in Find in Navigation, pressing Tab is going to take me straight to Onyx, and pressing Enter is going to take me to that page. And I think it's worthwhile, for me anyway, just trying to get that muscle memory going, because otherwise the muscle memory is going to be all, causing carpal tunnel syndrome with you dragging your mouse around the menu the whole time. So it's worth just stopping and thinking, I'm opening this menu again, can I do this in an efficient manner? And the main thing I wanted to mention on this is that there's a kind of thesaurus behind the scenes. So even if the word that you think you're looking for is not on this page, we have got a long list of synonyms in the background. And so, over in project management here, you can see plans. That's our, feature name for the things that allow you to do a financial plan of your upcoming works. Some people call that a P&L. And so if I type P and L, then that's going to whittle down the menu to that completely justifiable guess of what that feature might be. So that can be really helpful as well. There's a lot tucked into settings, isn't there? We were looking at the AI templates in settings earlier, but we don't see the word template here anywhere. But if I type template, there we go. I'm gonna be able to go there. Similarly for things like editions, in-house editions or in-house subject codes, all of those options are tucked in there. So yes, so I would heartily recommend having a play with that. And I guess the other thing to say is that when you do refine a set of options like this, using the keyboard is the quickest way to get to the selected, the offered options. So I've typed set, you can see my cursor is still in that bar there. If I press tab, the next thing that is in focus is in settings, and if I press enter, that's going to take me to the settings page. So that is how you can amaze and delight your colleagues with some fast finger work, moving around consonants at speed. All very exciting. That's your bonus power move of the week. Right, so looks like we're done, and we've packed a lot in this week. I'm particularly excited that I've managed to show you a 15-minute demo of creating a marketing template from absolute scratch. So I really look forward to seeing any ideas for future development, but really looking forward to seeing your designs that you come up with. I feel like that is very close to the money. The more beautiful your marketing materials, the greater your chance of communicating to your customers far and wide that they exist and they're available and beautiful. So yes, really look forward to hearing how you get on with that. We'll see you next week. There's exciting stuff coming down the track all the time. Definitely let us know what you would like to see on these live streams. You've got an hour's worth of requests that you can get, and we put a bit of effort into making these as useful and broadly helpful as possible. So I'm definitely keen to hear if there's any particular things that you want us to talk about or want us to prepare so that we can show you this sort of thing. I guess I should say like and subscribe as well, because it is nice to know that you're not shouting into the void as well. Although I will carry on shouting into the void until somebody tells me. That is also valid feedback. You can say stop, enough. Or you can just, close the browser. Marvellous. Have a marvellous week in the meantime, and thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and see